which tells us that we've got some work to do. But I can't tell you how great it is to see such a full house. To John and Missy, thank you so much for hosting us. To all of the other people who served as hosts, thank you as well. And to everybody who's given some of your Thursday night, thank you for being here to support Greg, because we really have an opportunity here to make a very important change at the State House in the composition of the Executive Council. We also know how important all of the races up and down the ticket are. You know, one of the things that is a reality, it's been a reality before Judge Kavanaugh was confirmed, but it is now even more of one, is that the front line of protecting everything from the environment to women's constitutional rights to voting rights, it's all here at the state level. That's going to be particularly true with the conservative Supreme Court. And frankly, it is something that the Republicans have understood and acted on far longer than Democrats have. And we have seen a steady strategy from the Republicans on everything from courts to state legislatures to governor's races, because they know at the end of the day they can change critical laws at the state level that really impact the day-to-day lives of all of our citizens. So I thank you for being here. I also thank you for being here, not just for a state race, but for the Executive Council, because so many people don't really have a good understanding of what the Executive Council does. And I know Gray will talk to you more about that, but I just want you all to think about the fact that before I became governor, the Executive Council, with a 3-2, actually it was 4-1 majority in the year before I became governor, decided to vote down a contract that would have funded Planned Parenthood. They did that even though the New Hampshire legislature, through the budgeting process, had decided that they should fund Planned Parenthood. But the Executive Council, which used to be a body that really acted as a check on the governor but didn't see itself as highly political, all of a sudden started taking kind of a second pass at policy decisions that the legislature had already decided on. So before I became governor, they defunded Planned Parenthood. When I became governor, with a different majority, a 3-2 Democratic majority, we were actually able to provide funds again to Planned Parenthood. Similarly, you'll recall we had a little bit of a Donnybrook to get Medicaid expansion done in this state, but after 3 tries we did it. We got a bipartisan plan together. And then when the contract came before the Executive Council, and there needed to be amendments to our managed care Medicaid contracts to reflect Medicaid expansion, it almost got voted down. Chris Sununu voted against that contract as an Executive Councilor. Had the majority been different, we might have had this kind of standoff with the legislature saying yes to Medicaid expansion and the Executive Council refusing to implement it. So this is a critically important seat. It's also a critically important seat because there's so many things that a good Executive Councilor could do to help the state of New Hampshire do its job better, and to be more service-oriented, and to really focus on good, strong, strategic work to help our state grow and thrive. And that is what Gray is so well suited to do. He has a terrific background in business, in entrepreneurship. He's working for the Army effort now, which I'll let him talk more about. But imagine this, imagine that the United States of America could save $100 billion a year by not having people with kidney failure need dialysis. But instead, their tissue could be used to create their own new kidney. Imagine that. That's what Dean Kamen and Ray Chenoweth are working on with this Army initiative right in our own Manchester mill yard. It would just change the quality of life for so many millions of people who have kidney disease, and it would also save the United States government and state government enormous healthcare dollars. That's the type of innovative work that Gray has been engaged with, will continue to engage with. So think about everything he's learning and brings to bear in the private sector that he could apply as an Executive Councilor at the state level. So we need him to be a strong Democratic voice on the Executive Council, to be sure. I also know you are all working your hearts out for Molly Kelly, who would be our terrific next governor. And folks, it's closer than people thought it was going to be, and she's within striking distance. But if Molly or a Democrat isn't there, it's an even bigger reason to make sure that we have the right composition on the Executive Council, and Gray can really be that voice. So without further ado, I can't wait to hear more from Gray. I look forward to seeing you on the Executive Council, our next Executive Councilor, Gray Cheney.